what I would like to do is give everyone the opportunity to introduce themselves.
John Kander, who's the composer, and Tommy Thompson, who is the writer of the book for the play, came to campus 2 weeks before we opened. And they worked, both of them worked with the cast. They were incredibly respectful of the work that we had already done.
Neither of us would try to make this production be like any other production. And if we're useful in any way, it would be in helping an actor learn something about his character that maybe he hadn't thought of or didn't know, or because in the virtue of hindsight, we can say that if you take this dynamic down a little bit, you'll have further to go. And so when you reach the climax of a moment, it'll pay off. Really cheap stuff like that.
Now, where you are sitting will someday be a busy concourse that leads to Cincinnati's own subway system.
And they just sort of did a work through with us. They picked some moments. They saw the entire show. And then they talked with us a little bit, asked us if we had any questions. And then on Saturday, we just spent like a couple hours just working through numbers with them. It was nerve-wracking at first, obviously, because I think, you know, I've grown up in the musical theater world, and John Kander is such a huge name, and that just sort of freaked me out a little bit.
I don't position myself that way. I think the piece, as was rewritten by Tom Thompson, is a much better piece now than it was. It's still not maybe everything it should be, but we're enjoying the experience that the students are having. Tommy and I are here to be useful, but by no means wise.
It was like working with a couple of like master carpenters, you know what I mean? They were like artisans of theater. They knew exactly how to direct us and how to give us notes as actors.
They are as sweet as everyone said they would be. They were so generous with their time. They care so much about every detail, and that was completely inspiring, you know, all these years later, and they still are telling us, you know, why we need to wait 4 bars until we start to move the set, because otherwise we're gonna miss that joke moment that's in there.
I'd like to say, we have nothing to fear. We will not.
But it wasn't until the day they left, I sat down and just was amazed at all that had happened and all the great advice they had given.
It's always an exhilarating experience to work with students on a student production, because a certain thing happens that doesn't always happen in the professional theater, and that has to do with a certain kind of fervor. I hope they enjoyed as much as we did.
He has big hands. He's very good at clapping. That was something that I was really impressed with. It made a lot of sense, but like he's, you know, this huge booming. Like, he also likes whoppers. Yeah, he's a fan of whoppers. We learned that.
The most important thing for me is that people walk away from this experience understanding that an individual's determination is stronger than anything else. It's an incredibly strong force of nature. The response to the play has been extremely positive, and yet there are people who are like, oh, I don't know, the play's kind of sappy. The truth of the matter is, the sappy quality of the play is its strength to me. It's like, you know what, these are human values, and even though it's easy to be cynical about them, the fact that someone has the extraordinary strength to rise above the situation they find themselves in and persevere is a really important lesson for all of us to remember.
I've never disconnected from it, even though I haven't been here very often. The last time I was here was probably 10 years ago. But there is in New York what I refer to as an Oberlin mafia. I have a friend who says he can tell an Oberlin an Oberlin person after 30 seconds of conversation, and he's usually right.